Welcome to White Hart Lane, a cold night with a fierce wind blowing, but what promises to be an excellent night of European football. The Russian side on the left there in the red shirts, Dinámo Tbílisi, are said by Spurs players to be just about the best side they've faced in Europe for years. Even so, Spurs came away from the first leg in Russia a fortnight ago with a 1-1 draw, and that puts them in a good position tonight, though this tie, believe me, is far from over yet. Let's now catch up on the Spurs side. Cyril Knowles is out of defence. Martin Peters, though, is fit, and Alan Gilzean is among the substitutes. Terry Neylor, in fact, gets the number 3 shirt, and Chris McGrath, the young Belfast boy, is at number 7. The Russian player that the Spurs team felt was the biggest threat to them was their number 7, Machaidze. There he is in the centre, a 20-year-old winger with tremendous skill and pace. Indeed, he can do 100 metres in 11 seconds. And in this Tbilisi side tonight, 6 internationals. The best known of all, of course, is the captain, Hurtzilava, who indeed is the number 4 and is also the captain of the Russian national side. Dzodzuashvili, the number 2, is another very well-known international player. So they are a side with flair and experience. And the crowd, with the petrol troubles that we've had and with the rail troubles, in their all-white strip to kick off. The Russians, in fact, had a little bit of an emergency on the way here. They arrived here without their kit and have had to borrow red shorts, number 10, Nodia. Dinámo Tbílisi, who finished 5th in the Russian league, which finished a few weeks ago. And now Mike England getting in, but the number 11, Kippiani, crossing it in there, and Jennings for Tottenham. Shivers coming for this one, heading it back for Ray Evans. A really blustery night there, the wind mostly behind the Russian players there, as McGrath gets in, couldn't quite get it across it. As the Russians now pick it up again. Machaidze. Still Machaidze, and there was a deflection, and that very nearly went in off the number 11, Kippiani. Jennings really would have known very little about that. And here we see Machaidze cutting inside John Prattt, and you'll see a deflection after he's hit it. There's the deflection, and it almost caught Jennings out. The deflection. Men in the Russian wall, and Peters curling one in there. Chivers hoping to nod it back, and McGrath would have been there waiting for it, but instead it's Neylor, a good chest trap by him, and now England has gone into that Russian 6-yard area towards the near post, and it had to be fist there by the goalkeeper. McGrath trying to lay it back there for Prattt, and Russia. Beale, but now Perryman to Coates for Tottenham. Beaten though by the number 6, Ebralici, and Coates fighting back and winning, and the crowd enjoyed that little bit of determination by Ralph Coates. Here's Peters with the cross, and another. Evans hit first time, quickening it up. Peters! Oh, very close indeed. The value of an early ball played inside there by Evans. was seen to full extent. As we see now, as the cross comes in, Peters just a fraction wide. Leaving it for Dzodzuashvili, very, very experienced Russian international. Matcha again getting past John Prattt, and that was a good piece of play by Beale, but it's not away yet by any means. And Spurs with a lot of trouble there, and they're still not out of it. Asetiani to Hurtzilava, a man with a tremendous shot, as we've seen once or twice before in internationals, although Spurs snuffed him out there. But now Gutsaev slipping past Prattt, faced by Neylor, and Spurs under a lot of pressure there and conceding the corner. Peters was right back there. Dzodzuashvili trying to let one fly through a whole ruck of players, this Russian number 2, but a goal kick to Tottenham. Tackle from behind, although Neylor did his utmost to make contact with the ball through Gutsaev's legs. Free kick to Russia, to Dinaмо Tbииси, and a good run there by Kipиани. And a wall only about 5 yards away, but Chivers trying to blast the way through. Falls for Neylor, and now for Prattt. Neylor again. Nicely trying to get past John. Again, John Pratt's taking it. And again, Mike England has come up. And again, it's deep towards England. And he got the header in! And it was so very, very close. Brilliant header there by Mike England. And Martin Peters was almost in at the death. As the corner came across from John Prattt, just look at the way Mike England comes in for the header. With all the power in the world, they just keep it out, and even then Martin Peters couldn't. Asetiani is the big man standing over the ball, but Hurtzilava just behind him, but there's the number 7 on a shot that's well wide by Matcha. And it'll have to be taken again, because I think it must have been that the Spurs wall was not the fully 10 yards back. So the Russians get another go. Will they vary it this time? And it's Hurtzilava instead. And that was a tremendous shot again. No more than a foot too high. By Hurtzilava, number 4. Peters. Played wide again towards Coates and Evans. Coates getting it across nicely, and McGrath has scored! Chris McGrath, the young Belfast boy, has put Spurs ahead. The 18-year-old, who was a bit of a gamble for Bill Nicholson, bringing him into the side in place of Gilsey. Here's the cross from Ralph Coates, hit to perfection, and just watch young Chris McGrath go in, directed downwards, and it might be the UEFA Cup, which of course they've already won once. Dzodzuashvili getting that one away for Tbilisi. Here's Coates again, this time for Peters. And Spurs looking better now as the cross comes in towards Prattt, and he put that goalkeeper under enormous pressure. A foul and a free kick that Prattt again will take. England again, who was so close a couple of minutes ago, is right in there once more, and the goalkeeper didn't come for that one. McGrath turning it back towards Chivers, and Chivers' boot just a little too high on the Russian defender. Asetiani. And this is a dangerous looking ball. Coates getting back, and they were so close there from Ebralitzi. Number 6 popping up from the midfield. A good ball here by Asetiani, and the number 6 there leaving Ralph Coates, Ebralitzi, and Jennings coming out to make life difficult on the ball just. England. McGrath. And now Coates. Good turn of pace again there by Coates, and Peters! Beautiful skills there in that Tottenham breakaway by Coates with the run, and then by Peters catching it on the half volley. This is the end of the run by Coates. He's got in some good crosses tonight, and on the half volley, Peters almost judging the... Rather a strong challenge there on Chivers, but Evans taking it up and threading it through the defence there for Ralph Coates. Crossed in again, and it didn't quite come to McGrath. Evans hitting one full-blooded and first time, and with a chance to get his cross in, but that again was beaten down by Dzodzuashvili. Azatiani. 4-5 Russian forwards up now, joined by Dzodzuashvili, the fullback. Matcha, beaten by Beal, and a free kick given. With 3 men in that Spurs wall. Azatiani playing it there, and Matcha making a terrible mess of it. Gutsayev. Matcha. And Hurtzilava again in a very dangerous position, and England was so aware of that Russian captain's shooting power. He came streaking out of the box to take the ball from him. But it's not away yet. Kippiani and Hurtzilava again right in there. Matcha. And there's Chivers right back there doing a defensive job, but the Russians still a long way from being beaten. Now for the number 6 crossing, he can again there. Gutsayev tried to get up. Matcha, and there's a tremendous shot, and it's not away yet by Hurtzilava against the post, and a corner for the Russians. Welcome back then to White Hart Lane at the second half now of this third round match in the UEFA Cup between Spurs and Matcha to Dzodzuashvili. The long raking pass there, Nodia in fact didn't make a touch on it, and Neylor has given him a great chance there, and that very nearly was a terrible mistake there by Terry Neylor. Ebralidze almost got there before Jennings. But certainly in no position to play funny games like that. Prattt, a good pass. England had gone up for that free kick and had stayed up. Coates. Still Coates. Good play there by Ralph Coates. Oh, and a great header there by Mike England. And that puts Spurs 2-0 ahead. It was Chivers, in fact, who got the header in. As Coates came in again. And there he goes, diving in with that header. Out of a defensive position. Gutsayev. Kippiani. And still Kippiani. And that wasn't very far over either. Gutsayev. Oh, and it's a goal there, scored by the number 6, Ebralidze. And Ebralidze has put the Russians back into the game. as the cross came over, hit low and firmly. It's Ebralitsi, the number 6, who just gets the touch past Pat Jennings. 2-1. So now the game wide open again, and it's Coates taking it up. Well, what a good start to the second half, but the cross all dropped there, and McGrath almost got the foot in. This time a beautiful ball there by Neylor to his fellow full-back Ray Evans, and a curling cross once more, which had the goalkeeper go. So the number 5, Dzodzuashvili, right in there. Martin Peters in there. Martin Chivers at the near post. Here comes the corner again. Curling on the wing once more. Mike England is in there. And headed in by Martin Peters. Mike England got the head of the counter in the first place. And Martin Peters tucked it behind the goalkeeper in the second place. And that is 3-1 now to Tottenham. As the corner came over, look at Mike England lurking in there, winning a very important header for Tottenham. And a good reflex there by Martin Peters, and that is 3-1 now. And now John Prattt. Peters again. McGrath is in there once more. Played back and hit first time, and hit across the goal there by Prattt, and it worked for Tottenham because they're in there once more. And still the Russians haven't got it fully away because Evans can play it here for Mike England. Chivers up, and Ebralitsi didn't know where it was. Azatiani played a nice ball there for Matcha. This time for Nodia. Neylor going across to challenge him, and a free kick there given against Terry. Free kick. Dzodzuashvili with the free kick. Ebralitsi again. Played this time for Perryman. Coates and Evans again doing that faithful overlap, and Coates getting in his shot, but it was gobbled up nicely there by Gogia in the Dinaмо Tbииси goal. To Prattt. Turned in towards Peters, and the linesman was flagging. Chivers, very deep indeed. And now that long stride of his taking it into the Russian half. Peters, turn on again for Chivers, but Dzodzuashvili is there, could tuck it back, and he almost made a mess of it. Beale away. Kippiani. Trying to jink his way past Evans, and he succeeded, but it comes off making any presence to Tottenham at the moment. It's 3-1 down on the night. Neylor turning it in once more. McGrath was hopeful of getting in. Chivers is still in there. Back over his own head towards Peters. Back this time towards John Prattt. And now Azatiani getting it away for the Russians. The long ball, and Nodia inside his own half when that pass was played was onside. Beale back, covering beautifully for Tottenham. And here's Peters in a good position. Chivers and McGrath are in the middle. There's Chivers going for it again! Oh, what a fine goal by Chivers! Oh, a really beautiful goal there by Martin Chivers. And that will just about wrap it up. A lovely pass in the first place that sent Martin Peters on his way. And Peters, who was in doubt right up to the kickoff, has had a fair game himself. And Chivers, what a beautiful, delicate header. And that puts Spurs 4-1 ahead on the night. And 5-2 on aggregate. And that unquestionably the best goal of the night. 4-1 on the night, 5-2 to Spurs on aggregate. A place in the quarter-final of the UEFA Cup is at stake. Kippiani putting it behind, and it's a goal kick. Big crowd, but they've enjoyed a particularly good game, with Spurs showing so much better form as they so often do in cup tournaments. Peters pushed in the back there by number 3, Chilidze. And Spurs moving with confidence now. Prattt crossing it in once more, and Martin Peters behind the ball! And Martin Peters has added another the very last moment, has put Spurs well clear with the pass that made Chivers the 4th goal, and now scoring the 5th himself. Taking the free kick himself, John Prattt inching in perfectly, and there's Peters ghosting in behind that defence again and nodding it down beautifully. So Peters and Chivers a couple apiece, and Chris McGrath the one that set them on the way. But here the Russians again, Embraditsi coming through, and Jennings was again so quickly off his line, and Coates was tackling back very hard and well. So it'll be a goal kick then to Tottenham. And this is probably as well as Spurs have played all season. Of hope early in this second half when he pulled the score back to 2-1. Kipiani, and again Embraditsi was going right through there. It comes back for Kipiani once more, and that'll be a corner for the Russians. So 5 minutes left. And again, Mike England. What a superb game England has had, both in defence and when he's come up for dead ball situations. And here's Chivers, who really tonight has looked much more like his old self, and he's gone almost the length of the field. Oh, and what a shot there! Coates again for Tottenham. Kipiani. Okay, to the number 9, Azatiani, and now here's Nodia. And hit first time, but very wide and high there by Machadias. England again is up. Peters in the 6-yard area. Chivers is lying deep as well as Evans cross it in once more. Now Coates will hope to get on the scoring sheet, but he can't, and the Russians bring it away with Azatiani. Kipiani stopped by Neylor. Russian very skillfully keeping possession to Perryman. McGrath again. McGrath to Perryman once more. What a good piece of play again by Tottenham, and McGrath is through. Russians coming back quickly. Peters hitting it first time, but straight at the goalkeeper. Once they got here, have been very well rewarded by this Spurs performance. 5-1 ahead, and really playing as well as they played at any time this season. But here's Kipiani showing again very graceful skills back there for Nodia, but his shooting was way off the mark. And now Prattt. Chivers is up there again, and Spurs have got a lot of players forward. Here's John Prattt once more. And he's got no! Well, my eyes to forward again for Chivers. Oh, and a beautiful save there by the goalkeeper. As the final whistle goes, when Chivers nearly made it 3 and nearly made it 6 for Tottenham, but Chivers has had a magnificent match with those 2 goals of his, 2 to Martin Peters, 1 to Chris McGrath that set them on their way, with the number 6 Embraditsi scoring for Tbilisi.